Let's move to Wake Up Conversations. Our very first story on Wake Up Conversation has got to do with recycling an old video. Well, I'm sure you're aware of what happened over the weekend where the United States President Donald Trump had mentioned that he's looking forward to ensure that the United States soldiers rein in on the insecurity crisis that's bedeviling Nigeria. And one of the things that was mentioned was that he cannot wait to have his soldiers, the United States soldiers, come straight to Nigeria and take care of the insurgencies. But in line with that, we discussed this extensively yesterday. Just yesterday, the Nigerian military decided to prove that it is indeed working very hard, especially with the commissioning of the new service chiefs. And they put out a statement, a press statement on X, and a video. And this is what you have there on the screen. It said, troops of 12th Brigade rescued 2 kidnapped victims and recovered ransom in Kogi State. Now, this is a long story, so we're not going to spend so much time reading it, but it says that in a sustained effort to rid Kogi State of criminal activities, troops of 12th Brigade Nigerian Army deployed at Forward Operating Base FOB Oguma have successfully rescued 2 kidnapped victims and recovered the ransom money meant for their release. Now, that's not all. Like I said, we're not going to spend so much time reading through it. If we come down to the last paragraph, it says, following the encounter, the troops rescued the victims and recovered the sum of 3.8 million naira. That's 3,800,000 naira intended for ransom payment. The rescued victims were immediately debriefed to aid further operations, while the recovered cash was handed back to them. They are currently in safe custody at the troops' location, pending handover, and so on and so forth. And
Joe, I think you should even read the paragraph before.
Okay, all right, let's go back
to the paragraph that starts with however, because that particular paragraph, if you now put it vis-a-vis what the report is.
Okay, all right.
It says, go ahead, please.
Okay, it says, however, while en route to the location, Nigerians, Lagos, take note, the troops came under fire from the criminals. In the ensuing exchange, the gallant soldiers engaged the bandits with superior firepower, forcing them to abandon 2 victims along with the ransom money. The criminals subsequently fled into the forest with various degrees of gunshot wounds.
All right.
And if you go
that
to the
strength and the superiority,
the battle front line and so on and so forth. But here's a twist to the story. Let's see if we can have the pictures up. Yeah, so you see pictures circulating that were equally shared. Yeah, those are the 2 victims and so on. But there's this sad twist to this story. Nigerians who are very, very savvy with social media and news dissemination, vigilance in terms of everything, decided to highlight a very worrisome issue here with this story. Apparently, this picture and the story, the images rather, do not in any way support the story. Rather, the images you see on the screen there have been highlighted to be an old rescue mission. Old, not new. But for context, let's get to see what the tweets have got to say in terms of reference post. We're going to see what it is. The General Snow says, why are you lying? These are people's lives you're playing games with. Tell me how we will ever believe anything from this handle. This is social media era. We will know the truth. And let's take more tweets very quickly, more X's, if you want to put it that way. You people have rolled back to snatching random pictures from the internet and reporting it as a rescue update. How are you reporting updates from 9 months ago? What level of incompetence have you descended to? God, what did you bring me here? Salako, don't fret. Let's take more. Dear U.S. Army, this one tags the United States Army. You cannot threaten us. We have 50 million equally capable, very motivated young men and women like this in the NY. No, this one has got to do with the NYC and so on. Yeah. They will be well equipped and so on and so forth in reaction to that, and also in reaction to that story as well. Okay. Now, this one says, it's good to see our soldiers in continuation. It's good to see our soldiers sharing more of their successes publicly. Sadly, some folks are quick to link it to the Trump drama. Let's be clear. Real military operations are planned with precision and not a reaction. Political noise. Give credit where it's due. Our troops are doing the work regardless of who's making headlines.
I agree with this, but I mean, the people, you hold the people some level of, I mean, not some level, you need to come out and say the truth.
And they have come out.
There are issues here.
The Nigerian Army, while we're on air, they've come out. Yes. They've come out with an update that is barely 5 minutes ago.
Okay.
And in response to the update, let's come back to give the update. It says, Troops of 12th Brigade deployed at Forward Operating Base, Oguma, on 2nd November 2025, successfully rescued 2 kidnapped victims, and images from the operation were duly released through an official Nigerian Army press statement. Regrettably, certain unpatriotic elements have circulated doctored and misleading versions of these photos, falsely alleging that they were recycled from an earlier incident, an entirely baseless and malicious claim. Even more concerning is that some individuals and bloggers without proper verification have amplified this misinformation aimed at discrediting the Nigerian Army, a professional institution constitutionally mandated to defend the sovereignty and territorial integrity of Nigeria. We urge all citizens, particularly social media users, to verify information before sharing and to refrain from spreading false or misleading content capable of undermining public trust and national security. We remain steadfast in our commitment to truth, professionalism, and the defense of our dear nation. And they tag Uncle Ayo because Uncle Ayo is the one who brought this to light when he posted 16 hours ago saying, "You're uploading updates from 9 months ago. Are you cursed?" And then he puts screenshots of the Nigerian Army's uploads, you know, regarding
the
this.
uploads Uncle Ayo put up was on what platform?
On X. So he did
Nigerian Army.
He did a screenshot of
dates as well.
Dates from from like posts from different blogs, from Linda Ikeji's blog, Threads, or one Instagram
page. So when
page.
you go through Nigerian Army's timeline, do you see that post there?
Well, you would have to scroll down, and I haven't scrolled to the bottom to see that. So, anyway, the question now is, what really is the true position if Uncle Ayo is sharing these screenshots and the Nigerian Army is saying, and again, I'm bringing this up because we live in an era where truly things can be doctored. And that is not to say that this was doctored because we do not know for sure. But in the advent of AI, I saw a video of myself and somebody having a dance, and I did not dance with this person. And they sent me the video. It was a photo of the both of us that was then doctored into us dancing. It was AI. And I said, when did this happen? And the person laughed and said, oh, it's AI. So things, and that's the fear. Yeah. That even when things are true, people would then lie and say it's AI. So how do we then find out what is true? So
we wait for a few hours, and if that's not the true position of this, Trust X will put a community note on the latest rebuttal by the Nigerian Army. So let's just give it some time. But lessons have been learned, and let's not distract the men and women of our armed forces. They're doing, regardless of political noise, they're doing a very good job, sometimes at a very grave personal price. Some of them lose their lives, so they need to give them all the support they need and all the resources to deal with the issues of terrorism. And some people yesterday said, you know, the Vice President attending a defection event by Governor Diri yesterday, the optics doesn't look good, especially at this time in our nationhood. No nation has ever threatened to, you know, fire and brimstone to unleash mayhem on Nigerians like the incident that happened over the weekend. This is unprecedented. That what the president should have done is, or the vice president, is visit military formations, you know, boost morale, you know, confidence building rounds, and not go about politics.
So Benga, it also brings to mind what people are talking about. And by this, when we say people, we mean very well-meaning Nigerians. The worry is that there's a lot of politicking as regards handling the matters that are right in front of us.
All right. Okay, gentlemen, let's now quickly move on to our next story. This is, of course, still not the army, but this time the police. But we want you to take a look at this video. The Kwara State police officer has been caught extorting motorists.
Oh no,
take
not
a look
again.
At this video.
Happy customer service week.
I don't my video arawani. I don't my video arawani. I don't buy. One dollar away any. When you get on my mark, you have a $1 I walk up. I like it up and when you get also a $1 and dollar motor. Consider to a buy and do it. Consider to a buy and do it. On a boy, and Bembe, on a bone and Bembe, on a Rukum Bembe, lawyer, I don't know Dorosi.
So just to interpret what was going on there, I think it was a motorist or passers-by. They're complaining that the men of the Nigerian police were collecting money from motorists. Yes.
Okay, but was there a video evidence to that? Or it is based off what they were saying?
From what we see, it's based off what...
I mean, from that video, if you just to give a context and background to that video, while it's up here on Wake Up Conversation, it's up because the Nigerian police force was equally called out on X and on other social media platforms, especially on Instagram as well, when this police truck, in which they claimed, said that it was supposed to be used to combat crime and insurgency within Kwara. We all know what Kwara State is going through.
Yes.
And this was part of the truck that was given to the police officers to use in combating truck. But however, guess what? It was parked on the roadside, and the police officers were seen stopping cars and asking them for money. And therefore, well-meaning citizens in Kwara State decided to say, no, this is not what should be done.
We need
that
more of this.
You are supposed to help us and stop the issue of insurgency that we're facing in Kwara State. And insecurity, rather than stay here. So what we're going to do is we're going to start videoing you. And that's exactly what they did, recording them. However, while they were recording them, it was also mentioned that the police officers also took to recording them too. And that's why he said, I'm a video, we'll video ourselves. And therefore, I would ensure that we would put ourselves out there. Whether it is something to look into and say, oh, okay, what side of the story? The real question really is, as citizens of the country, should that truck be there on the road? And it's obvious, you saw the policeman stopping the vehicle there and talking to the passengers and so on. Is that the job that should be done with that truck, or what was given?
I mean, the Nigerian police, I'm sorry to say this, but time after time and time again, I'm sure their public complaints unit is tired of taking calls about the behavior of their personnel.
I agree.
This armored personnel career, you don't see it everywhere. It's very expensive. And it was specially deployed because of the surge in violence that we've witnessed in places like Kwara that never used to happen before. So the authorities thought, let's deploy better equipment and better firepower to this place. And this is unfortunate that they abandoned their primary responsibility and started harassing innocent citizens.
I'm hoping that we can have feedback from the Kwara State government, but can I also say that even Nigerian citizens were not very different. As we're criticizing the police, we must also recognize that even those at the lower cadres of society and those who are, and I'm going to give a personal example that happened 2 days ago. I went to have lunch with my friend after church on Sunday at a very big, popular hotel and restaurant on the island. And guess what? I was about to park somewhere, and the man said to me, oh, you can't park there. That place is for the penthouse. But if you show me love, I will let you park. And I said, no, I will do no such thing. I actually filmed him saying, say that again. I don't know why I didn't post it, because I'm like, we need to start calling out his bad behaviors. Yes, because it's a moral compass that is broken. How do you tell me that is not, I can't park there because it's for the penthouse, but if I give you something, you will let me park there? So we criticize the police, we criticize politicians, but are we any different from them?
I had a similar incident with what you just did on Friday. It's a space, a wedding I went to, I attended, and of course, it was paid, venue and everything. I was just about leaving, and the security said, I was watching over everything. Show me. I said, you're watching over what?
Are you not paid to do it?
Inside the venue.
And there's a lot of entitlement that comes with it.
That's the word. So that's the word I use all through the night. Entitlement.
If I want to give you money,
entitled.
I'll give you money because, I know that the country is hard and people are trying to make ends meet.
You don't demand for me to give you money. But
it's not your right. We're eventually parked. There was a guy that came there to come and greet me. Mama, good afternoon. In fact, anyway, let's move. I don't want to really be upset by that. Let's share with you what Nigerians are saying about this on X.
They are fighting for their pockets. Terrorists are taxing the people. Policemen are on highways extorting the same terrorized people, while Tinubu is taxing them too. Well, this is the thoughts of the X user there. That's the work. That's the work of our Nigerian police. They can't fight bandits, only innocent citizens, Ken Obiora says. And another one here also says that's the only job they know. They can't do their job without extorting the people. Prince D says, and Ibrahim Ahmed Alasukom, he says, I was there this morning. It's happening in my presence. That's what he said. So that's somebody confirming that as well. But anyway, That's all we're going to take on Welcome Conversations. Let us know your thoughts. Feel free to follow us on all socials. We are on YouTube, X, Instagram, you name it.
And we're particularly taking comments from YouTube.
Yes, we're taking comments from YouTube as well.
Box.
So feel free to do that. Let's bring to you what our top stories are for today here on Breakfast Central. On Breakfast Central this morning, 12 governors may face U.S. sanctions. It's not over until it's over. More coming from the United States. Lagos CP declares Omoyele Sowore wanted after the mild protest at Oworishoki. They've called him and said you were galvanizing people to cause chaos. PDP crisis deepens, factions, and so on and so forth. And then we'll also look at the PDP factional chairman assuming office. How possible is that? Okay. Newspaper front pages will be up next as well at 9 a.m. Don't forget, you can tune in and call in as well. Stay with us all here on Breakfast Central.